Hi everyone, Fritz here, and in this video we're going to change the oil on the 2015 BMW M235i. Now oil changes are a pretty common, routine, and simple thing to do. So what I do on this car today is probably going to apply to several cars out there. But rather than going to the dealership or to the mechanic, have them charge you upwards of $80, it's easier to just go to the store, buy the parts that you need, change the oil yourself, save some extra money, and potentially invest that back into your business. So, what do we need for this car specifically? I'm gonna use the Castrol blend of 040. We need about 7 quarts of this. Your oil filter. In this car, you have to use an oil filter adapter in order to get the oil filter housing off. And today we're actually going to change out the housing so that next time we can just use a wrench. So we're gonna change out the housing, and we'll even install a magnetic oil drain plug. That way we can see if there's anything wrong with the system. Basically, if you have metal shavings on here that's like very excessive, when you pull this out, you're gonna know that there's something wrong, and then you can take your car to the mechanic. And of course, you're gonna need your wrench. For any one of these pieces and you wanna get them online, I'll leave the links for them all down below. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're gonna do is jack up the car. We actually don't need the car this high. I'm just doing it so that it's easier for me to film and get some additional light in there. Now, from the top of the car, what I like to do is loosen up the oil cap, as well as the oil filter housing. This is what's gonna allow us to have a nice, even laminar flow when we undo the oil drain plug. Now we don't want to undo anything, we just need to have it loose. Now I also forgot to mention that you will need an oil drain pan, and it doesn't hurt to have some cardboard here, just in case we have a little bit of leakage. BMW is actually kind enough to give us a simple cutout within the underbelly pan. So our drain plug is right here. Slide out the lever there. If you want to, you could untwist it, but it's a whole lot easier to do this. All that we need is just a 17mm socket to take out the drain plug. And as that drains into the pan, we can start getting our oil filter ready. After you let it drain for a little bit, go ahead and remove the entire housing, because we're gonna switch it out. Now when we're looking at our old and new oil filter housing cap, they both have teeth on the inside, and that's what this inner cage will attach to. And the way that we get that inner housing off is that we will first take out the oil filter and place that in our oil drain pan. And to get out this plastic housing, just apply a little bit of pressure in order to pop it off, just like that. Be careful. And if it disassembles like this, it's not a big deal. Just take the spring, put it back into the housing. The center piece goes onto the spring, and this top part locks it all in place. Now that it's all reassembled, it's safe to put into our new metal housing. Just line up the holes all the same and snap it into place. And once it's snapped into place, it feels very solid. Now that we have the cage on, we just have to remove this O-ring, and we can do that by simply using a small screwdriver. Take some new oil from the one you just bought by turning it upside down, grabbing it from the cap, and you can see that's more than enough oil to lube up this one new O-ring, which you get in your oil filter box. Just lube it up and then place it onto the housing. Now use some of that same oil and lube up the bigger O-ring, and this slides on top of the housing. When it slides right in there, it's all in place. Now let's take our new oil filter, slide it in, and you will hear it pop into place. Just like that. Now let's put this back in the car. And it just slides right in. Now, Berger Motorsports was kind enough to let us know this is a 19mm nut and it needs to go 25 Newton meters. Now we'll take our new drain plug, clean up any oil that was left over, and tighten down the drain plug. Small technical change. This nut that I got is actually 14mm, so wow, that's different. Tuck it back in. Now that the drain plug and oil filter are back in place, we can go ahead and fill it up with oil. This car specifically takes about 7 quarts. It's 6.9 exactly. If you need to know the specifications for your car, go ahead and just look in the owner's manual or check forums. Keep your car on the jack stands. Start it up. Let it run for a little bit. Give it some juice and then check if there's any leaks. If everything's okay, button everything up and then you're done. Coming back to the front of the car, we can see that we have no oil around the new oil filter housing. If we go to the bottom of the car, we see that we have no leaks around the new oil drain plug either. So we're all good. We can just lower down the car and check the oil level. Now, because BMW decided to have the great idea of not including a dipstick, the only way to check your oil level is by starting the car, going down into your vehicle info, scrolling down to your vehicle status, and then selecting engine oil level. It says that it's okay, but we can also do the measure engine oil level. And of course all of this, so let's take a second. Now that the car is finally warmed up, we can start the measurement. We're at max level, so we're good. So now that we've done all of our testing in the driveway, go ahead, take it around the block or two, and make sure everything's okay. Check the engine oil level again, make sure that there are no leaks. If everything's okay, congratulations, your oil change is done. And if you need help finding anything like the oil filter, the link for the new oil filter housing, or the magnetic drain plug, I'm gonna leave all the links down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and I'll see you in the next video.